to our class. And as your eyes are softly closing, start to turn your awareness towards your breathing. And begin by exaggerating your breath just a little bit. So not so much that you start to feel yourself straining to breathe at all, just enough that you're heightening the activity of breathing. It becomes a little bit easier to notice your breath. Feel each exhale soften parts of the body that are willing to soften. Maybe across the jaw and shoulders, maybe across the chest and belly, maybe through the hands and feet. Many different places in the body that are often quite tight or tense. And just by bringing awareness and breath to these places, we can encourage a softening, a letting go. And now release the effort of breathing here. So let go of that exaggeration of breath and start to settle back into a natural breath. Bringing one hand onto your belly, take your other hand around behind you so the back of the hand is resting somewhere around your low back. Now, if bringing your hand behind you is at all painful for your shoulder, you don't have to worry about that today. You can let your hand rest maybe back on the belly in the front if that's relieving for the shoulder. But we're trying now to bring some awareness to the back of the body. So with the use of the hands, it's helpful. So you can even rub your hands there on the belly and rub your hand a little bit on your low back to, again, wake up some sensitivity in those spaces. But then trying not to, again, control your breath, trying to let the breath stay quite natural and just picking up the subtle feeling of breathing below the palms of your hands. You might feel a little bit of movement in the belly. And also start to see if you can feel some movement in your back as you breathe. So it's very common understanding, of course, that we have a front of our body that experiences breath. It's actually kind of the easiest part to notice for breathing is along the front of the body. But sometimes we forget that we can actually experience our breath in the back of the body as well, right? Our lungs, which contain the breath, which bring the breath in and out, they're kind of the pump of our breathing. They're 360 degrees, right? Our lungs are a full organ. So when they expand in all directions. And we can then experience the breath in all directions. We can experience the breath in the front of the body. We can also experience the breath in the back of the body. We can also experience a sensation of breathing out to the sides. And we can also experience a sense of breathing up and down. So these different directions of breath, and we're going to explore some of those at the beginning of our practice today. So we start here down in the belly. You feel that expansion forward and back from the belly. Again, we're starting with a natural breath here, so as best you can, try not to exaggerate the breath at all. Don't worry if you're not really sensing a whole lot of movement in the body as you breathe. Sometimes that movement can be very subtle. But you're just doing your best here to tune in to what you can feel. Now let's take the hands now. Bring your hands up around your rib cage, if that's available. Sometimes shoulders won't let you bring your hands up that high. That's okay. You might take them down a little bit lower. Some of you might even rest them on your hips, and that's okay too. But if it's available to bring them up a little bit higher, give that a try. And just like you did with your hand on your belly and your back, you're going to now notice how your rib cage moves out side to side as you breathe. Now, of course, that might not be the only direction of movement that you feel, but that's the one we're going to notice the most here on the side. So you're feeling the rib cage expand out left and right. And then as you exhale, feel the rib cage draw back into center. So there is this side to side motion, expanding and then contracting. Take your hands now, bring one over the center of the chest, then bring the other one over top. Again, if it's comfortable for you to keep your eyes closed, I'll encourage you to do that. But now you're tuning into the feeling of the breath in the chest. This is, for many of us, the most common place of feeling the breath. And here you'll typically feel the breath lift and then lower. So this sort of up and down motion. Be aware here, especially as the hands are higher up on the chest, if the shoulders are trying to lift as well. Let the shoulders have some space and ease to settle down. You feel that rise of the chest and that gentle lower of the chest as you breathe. So we're going to bring these three parts of the breath together in what we call a Durga breath, or a three-part breath. So let's bring the hands back down onto the belly, remembering that the belly, when the hands are there, that we're also feeling in the back of the body. But take your inhale breath into your belly here for a moment. And then exhale out your mouth. Take your next inhale breath up around the rib cage. And then exhale out the mouth. Good. Take another inhale breath up to the chest. And exhale out the mouth. So we have those three distinct parts. We're going to now incorporate those parts into one breath at a time. So we're going to take our inhale into three parts and then our exhale into three parts. So the inhales begin at the belly, then move to the rib cage, then right up to the chest. Then we'll exhale, emptying out from the chest, then emptying out from the rib cage, then emptying out from the belly. Okay, so this is definitely a more active breath here. You're going to move with your breath, require a little bit of extra breath here, but make sure you're not practicing your breath work in a place that feels like it's creating tension or you're starting to feel short of breath. If you're noticing that for yourself, come back to the natural breath, and you can stay with that one breath per part if that feels better for you. Otherwise, starting with your hands on your belly, take your next exhale and empty your breath all the way out. Even squeeze the belly in a little bit to really get as empty as you can. And now we're going to inhale 1/3 of the breath to the belly. So you can imagine like a cup, you're filling up 1/3, the belly's expanding forward and back. Then take the second third at the rib cage, expanding out to the side, and then filling up and down, right up into the chest, inhaling. Good. We're going to exhale 1/3 from the chest. 1/3 from the rib cage. Final third emptying out, squeezing the belly in. Good. You can move your hands here with you as you breathe. So inhale 1/3 to the belly, 1/3 to the rib cage, 1/3 to the chest. Exhale from the chest. Exhale from the rib cage. Exhale, final bit from the belly. Good. Let's keep going. Inhale belly, rib cage, chest. Exhale, chest, rib cage, belly. Good. Inhaling belly, rib cage, chest. Exhale from the chest, from the rib cage, emptying from the belly. Let's do a few more. Inhale belly, rib cage, chest. Exhale from the chest, from the rib cage, all the way out from the belly. Last one now. Inhale belly, rib cage, chest. Exhale chest, rib cage, belly. Emptying out. Good. Continue now to release, to have that full yogic breath, but feel those three parts now to your breathing. So as you're breathing in, the belly expands, the rib cage expands, the chest lifts. As you breathe out, the chest drops, the rib cage condenses, and the belly draws in. So that's natural movement in all of our breath. We're just starting to maybe exaggerate it a little bit as we bring in our yogic breath, our deeper breath. So maintain that yogic breath. See if you can still feel the three parts of the breath every time you inhale and exhale. And we'll add in a little bit of motion now, movement for the hands. So let's inhale, belly, rib cage, chest. Let the arms lift as high as they can. And then as you exhale, let the hands come down. chest, rib cage, belly. Good. Inhale, belly, rib cage, chest. Exhale from the chest, from the rib cage, from the belly. Very nice. Inhaling, arms forward and up, just as high as the shoulders allow. And then exhaling, arms forward and down. Now let's do one more like this. Inhaling, forward and up. Exhaling, forward and down. Okay, well, let's keep the breath and the arms moving, but go out to the sides now. Inhale wide, big breath in, belly, rib cage, chest. Turn the palms away from each other. Exhale, chest, rib cage, belly. Good. Inhale, sweeping out and up. Just as high as the arms allow. We don't have to go very big here if the joints want a little bit more time to warm up, or maybe there's some injury in those joints. So we won't take them as high as maybe we'd like to. We only go as high as the joints allow. Good. Let's exhale again from the chest, the rib cage, the belly. And this time as the arms come down, they're going to come around behind you. And you're going to hold onto the back of your chair if the back of the chair is available. Now, if grabbing a hold of the back of the chair aggravates shoulders at all, or maybe you don't have a back to your chair, your hands can come onto your hips. Okay? So either option. Either way, you're going to lift your shoulders up to your ears and draw those shoulder blades a little closer onto the back. So it feels like you're pressing your collarbones forward. Draw a little bit of effort now into your feet. So we wake up some strength in the legs. And inhale again. Fill belly, rib cage, chest. Lift the chest up, look up. As you exhale from the chest, rib cage, belly, wrap the shoulders forward, drop the chin and hug in, helping to accentuate that exhale breath. Good. Inhale from the belly. Expand the rib cage, lift the chest, look up. Exhale, curling in. Good. We're moving through here our cat-cow pose, Marjriasana. Filling up from the belly, rib cage, lifting through the chest, looking up. Exhale, curling in. Just starting to warm up that spine. As you're moving here, see if you can continue to feel the front and back sides of your body. Can you feel the left and right sides of the torso as you move? And then what about that up and down motion? Can you feel that as well? Good. A few more like this, just easing the spine into some motion, waking up the nervous system. Good. Let's inhale down, sit up nice and tall. So not necessarily arcing back, but sitting up nice and tall. You're going to keep a hold of the back of the chair with your right hand. Free up that left hand. Bring it around towards the right thigh and gently come into a twist here. Now let's keep playing with that Durga breath, that 3-part breath. So as you inhale, unwind slightly, filling up the belly, the rib cage, the chest. Then as you exhale, emptying out the chest, rib cage, belly, see if you can twist just a little deeper. Again, inhale, you might slightly unwind a little bit as you fill up really full from belly, rib cage to the chest. But then as you empty out, there might be a bit more space, allowing you to twist a little deeper. Now be mindful of that spine of yours. If there's injury or osteoporosis there, you're not twisting very far, but that breath is doing a lot of the work. Good, let's all together inhale back into center. Take that left hand around behind you, or maybe it's on your hip. And then the right hand will come around towards the left thigh. Coming into your twist here. And again, we come into the twist, but then we're going to inhale out of the twist slightly, not all the way. Then exhale, emptying out and maybe coming a little bit further. Inhaling, coming out slightly. And then exhale, twisting in. Good, one more time. Inhaling, coming out slightly. And then exhaling, twisting in. Good. Let's inhale now, come back to center. Hands on the thighs. Give the shoulders a few rolls here up to the ears, roll them back and down. And again, this movement can be really, really big for you if the shoulders have a lot of mobility in them this morning. But maybe for you, it feels better to do small motions, little circles. That's okay. Do the motion that's available for you. Let's try the other direction. Roll the shoulders the other way. Good. Then let's take those shoulders up to the ears, bring them up really high. And again, fill up from the belly, the rib cage, the chest, shoulders really high. Then we're gonna let the exhale happen all at once, right through the mouth, really strong. Let those shoulders drop. Good. Inhale, fill up, shoulders to the ears. Exhale out the mouth, let them drop. Good, inhaling. Exhaling. Keep going. Nice, we're warming up the body here, getting that breath moving, getting prana, the life force energy that flows through us, getting that moving, getting our joints moving. Good. 3 more. Last one. Good. Inhale now, shoulders up, all the way up as high as you can. Big, big breath in, then slow breath out the nose. Nice slow breath out the nose as the shoulders melt back down the spine. Good. From here, let's slide hands forwards towards the knees. If the knees are a little chilly today or slow to warm up, you can use your hands to help warm up the knees. And we'll come down towards the feet. Now be mindful here of blood pressure. So if your head is dropping below the heart and there's concern for blood pressure, bring your elbows up on your thighs. Keep your head above your heart. Otherwise, you might allow your hands to work their way towards the feet. Don't worry at all if the hands don't come connected to the feet. That's okay. You can rest your hands on your knees, your shins, or maybe the ankles. But then let your head round forward here. Let the shoulders go. Again, if that's appropriate for you. Take 3 full breaths, and I find this forward fold very helpful for feeling that back body breathing sensation. So as we compress the belly, feel the breath in the back of your body. Good. Bringing the hands to the tops of the feet or the front of the shins or knees. Inhale and glide your hands up the legs, up the belly, up the chest towards the sky. Exhale, fold forward. Good. Inhale, rolling up, sweeping up. Exhale, folding forward. Good. Inhale, rolling up. Exhale, letting that go. Good. Inhale. Last one here as we fold forward. Really nice. Bringing the elbows now up onto the thighs, walking the feet nice and wide apart. Good. Turning the toes out slightly from the heels. Lift the chest and look forward. Good. Bringing the hands one at a time up onto the knees. Now as you inhale, rise up nice and tall. Even lean back a little bit here. The hands might slide back slightly to let you lean further. Be mindful, we want a little engagement in the belly, so we're not taking the pressure in the low back. Then you're gonna lean forward, straight spine. Good. Come back up and lean back. Just as far as you can. Good, and then come forward. Very good. Last one like this, we're gonna lean back. Lean back. Good, let's come forward. Very nice. Then we're going to come right up to our seat. Bring the feet in now so they're more hip distance apart, or that 2 fist distance. You can kind of measure that between the feet. This is just really helpful for aligning our feet with the hip joints. From here, we're going to do a little bit of core work, a little bit of balance work by lifting the right foot from the floor without letting yourself now lean back like you did just a moment ago. See if you can sit a little bit more upright. Good. Arms can stay at your sides, or for a little added work, you could take the arms up overhead. Good. Let's place that right foot down and try it with the other leg. Lift the left leg up. Be mindful what's happening in your belly here. So remember, you can still breathe in the back of your body. So even though the belly's a little compressed and probably a little engaged, hopefully, yeah, you can still breathe in the back of your body. Good. Let's place the left foot down again. Lift the right leg up. And some of you might stay like this, shifting from leg to leg. If you want a little bit more effort, a little bit more work today, if that's appropriate for you, lift the chest up, lift the arms up, hover both feet from the floor. Good. Take your hands down if they're lifted behind the thighs. And again, just like we did a few moments ago, you can start to lean back, but engage the belly. Lift the knees. Good. Hold behind your thighs. Maybe. If this is not appropriate for you, you can keep your feet one at a time on the floor, working that marching motion instead. Otherwise, both feet from the floor, lift the heart. Good, breathing here. This is our boat pose, Nadrajasana. Good. Good, and then release the feet to the floor. Hands to the thighs, sit up nice and tall. Take some of those deep breaths in. Deep breaths out. Good work. Soften that belly muscle. All right, let's come on up to stand now. Nice and tall. Good. Arms at your sides. Now, if standing is not an option for you today, that's okay. Stay seated in your chair. You're still practicing yoga, still coming into your same posture, Tadasana. It's just shaped a little bit differently. But the work is the same. Press into the feet, lift the heart, draw the shoulders back, and continue to feel the 3 parts of your breath here. So this is our anchor, is this Durga breath, this 3-part breath. Bringing the hands together now in front of the heart. Try closing the eyes. Now, if closing the eyes here makes you a little wobbly on your feet, soften your knees, see if that helps. And then maybe you might want to keep your eyes open so that you feel a bit more steady. But if it's available to you to close your eyes, close your eyes. Then from here, we'll take the right arm up towards the sky as you inhale, and the left arm down towards the ground as you exhale. As you inhale. So they're going to reach in opposite directions. Then exhale, bring both palms together in front of the heart. Inhale, switch sides, left arm up, right arm down. And then exhale, palms together. Good. Inhale, reaching out and up. Exhale, palms together. Keep feeling the effort in the legs, so we're not losing awareness down the legs. Press into the feet as you extend in both directions. Then as you exhale, everything draws back into center. In a way, we're sort of mimicking the movement of the breath. It's reaching up, out, forward, back. Good. And then as we exhale, everything draws right back into this sort of centered, contained place. Good. Nice. Beautiful. Next time both hands come together in front of the heart, pause there. Take a few easy breaths. See if you can soften the back of your hips a little bit. So there's not so much tension or gripping there to hold you upright. Soften the back of the hips. Let the weight come down into the feet. And now I'm going to give us an option here. If you're in the chair, once again, you're going to bring your hands around to the back of the chair or maybe your hips. If you're standing, your hands can come around to the back of the hips. Again, that's only if the shoulders allow. So if the shoulders don't appreciate that rotation, you can hold on to the sides of your hips. That's okay. But if it's available, try working your hands around right onto the back of your hips. So the fingertips are pointing down and the base of your palms are resting kind of on the crest there at the back of the hips. If you're in the chair, you're holding onto the sides of the back of the chair. For those of us standing, bend your knees a little bit deeper and then use the hands there on the back of the hips to help drop the back of the hips more towards your heels. So what we're not doing here is pressing the hips forward. See how my hips are staying right over top of my ankles? We're keeping that line, but now we're just simply dropping the back of the hips down. You're going to feel a lifting up in the front of the belly. That's what we're looking for. Again, that containment in the belly. Then lift those shoulders up. Let's all draw the shoulders back. Even hug the elbows a little closer together. Good. Pressing into the feet. Lift the heart up, looking up. Now, if you have any concerns for the spine, any injury, any osteoporosis, you're going to stay here, trying to get as long and as tall as you can. Feeling the back of the hips, drawing down, lifting the heart up. If the spine is okay, there's no injury, no concerns there, you might start to curve your spine back a little bit. I like to imagine there's this really big ball behind me, and I'm trying to lift up and over that ball, curving over. Good. Breathing wherever you are, feeling still, those 3 parts to the breath. Good work. Try not to let the head just drop back. It's a little hard on the neck here. Tuck the chin in, one more breath. We're gonna lift from the heart here, lift from the chest as you inhale to rise back up into center. Release your arms to your sides. Good. If you feel steady here, you might close your eyes. Otherwise, let the eyes stay open and take some big, full belly breaths. Open the eyes now. Let's take the chair over towards the right-hand side of your body, if that's available. Okay, so if you'd rather use a wall or a desk, you're welcome to do that. But if the chair is available to move, you can do that. Now, if you're in the chair, you're gonna stay seated, but make sure you're forward a little bit on your chair so you have some room, okay? If you're standing, the chair is on the right-hand side, and you're coming back into your Tadasana. Place your right hand on the chair, as we'll come into a balanced posture here, tree pose, Vrikshasana, using your right leg for support. So you're gonna press into the right foot, get as tall as you can, but nice and tall, and then you might lift off your left heel. Pivot on the left toes and turn the left knee out to the side. This is great, you could stay here. For some of us, the benefit comes from this pivot motion. That might be where you need to stay today to work on that motion. That's good. Work where you're at. If you open the knee slightly to the left, the foot might glide into the inside of the right ankle. Watch what happens here. Sometimes we kind of check out on that standing leg. We use the joints for support and we kind of lean into the chair. Use the muscles. That's what they're there for. I promise you they're there. So engage those muscles. Lift up a little bit. Maybe your left foot rises up onto the calf. If your hip is particularly flexible and open and it's safe for you, you might take your left foot up to the inside of the right thigh. Otherwise, don't worry about it. Keep it on the inside of the shin. Be mindful though not to press onto the knee joint. We don't want to add that extra pressure right now. We're going to work the strength of the leg instead. Good. Let's take the left arm up. Breathing here. If you're sitting in the chair, your right foot is facing forward. You're pressing into the right foot. The left leg can open out to the left. Arms up to the sky. You might extend the left leg out. You might even hover the left foot from the floor. Good work. Good. You're working. If your hands on the chair can stay there. Maybe today you just start to think about lifting the hand. You might even notice just the thought of lifting the hand starts to increase the challenge of balance. Some of you might work to take the whole hand off the chair. Some of you might work to take a finger or two off the chair. For some of us, it's a game of lifting and lowering the hand a few times. Wherever you are, that's perfect. Breathe where you are. Good. If your right hand is lifted, place it back down onto the chair. Then let your left arm down. Then bring that left foot in, feet in that hip distance space, returning to your Tadasana. Notice your breathing here. If you were holding your breath at all, let it settle again. Sense again the three parts to the breath. And depending on the situation at your house, maybe you keep the chair where it is and you turn yourself around, or if it's possible, move the chair over to the left-hand side. So one of the great benefits of staying seated in the chair, you don't have to worry about moving your chair. But again, stay seated slightly forward on your chair. If you're sitting in the chair now, you're going to press into your left foot and extend your right leg out to the right. If you're standing, you're pressing down on the left foot, igniting the strength of the left leg, getting really tall, maybe lifting your right heel. Pivoting on the toes to open the knee out to the right. Again, you might work there on that motion, that pivot. When it feels appropriate for you, your right foot will glide into the ankle. Maybe you keep your big toe on the floor. Maybe you work the foot up the leg. And being mindful of the knee joint. So I want to be really aware that we're not sinking into the joints of the body, but that we're using the muscles and lifting up out of the joints. Okay. Then from here, maybe your right arm comes up. Good. How's your breathing? Maybe you work with the hand on the chair again. You might come up onto one finger. Good. Maybe you lift that left hand. Maybe you try today to lift the sides of the mouth. Even if you're wobbling, even if you're sitting, yeah, if you fall over, make sure you have the chair there, but it's okay. You just come right back in. Because we get a chance to try again. It does not matter if you have to come out. You come out, you do what you need to do, and you come back in. Good work. If your left hand is lifted, bring it back onto the chair. Let your right arm, your right leg come down. Turn those palms open, shoulders back. Try closing the eyes, settle back into the breath. And opening the eyes now, you're going to turn the chair so it's facing you. And make sure it's in a position you've got lots of space around you, if possible. If that's not the situation at home, you can have a seat in your chair, or if today you'd rather sit in your chair, you can do that. Otherwise, you can use your chair for support as you make your way down onto the floor. So if you're sitting in the chair, you're going to sit all the way to the back of the chair now. Let your back rest on the back of the chair and keep your feet on the floor. If you're lying on the ground, you're going to come to lift your legs up onto the chair, lower your spine onto the floor, and bring your hands onto your belly. Wherever you are, settle the shoulders and close the eyes. Letting go of any effort of breathing here, but releasing the effort of breath does not release the awareness of breath. Still being very intimate, very connected to how air is moving in and out of your body. And from here, bring your right knee into your belly. So if you're in the chair, you're going to lift it up into the belly. If you're on the floor, you're going to draw it in. Hands can come around the thigh or the shin. Whatever the knee says feels okay. Let the shoulders drop down. And slowly, slowly start to hug the leg into the belly, giving a belly a little compression here. So it's important now that we're letting the belly be quite soft so it receives the compression of the leg. Some of you might enjoy a little bit of motion in the ankles, so especially if you feel some stiffness in your ankle, give it a little point and flex. You might roll it a few times here, mindfully turning it in circles, and then reversing that, rotating it the other way. And then wherever you are, bring your hands around to the back of the thigh. So whether you're seated or lying on the ground, you're holding at the back of your right thigh. And you're going to slowly straighten the right leg out. So if you're sitting in the chair, you're straightening it out in front of you. If you're on the floor, it's straightening towards the ceiling. Now, this is not about getting the leg perfectly straight. This is just about feeling that sensation of straightening. Noticing what you notice here in the leg. Maintaining the ease in the body and the breath. But for a little added challenge, you can now release your hands, maybe bring them back onto the belly, and then very slowly, very mindfully, start to lower the leg back down. So maybe you're lowering the foot to the floor, or maybe you're lowering the leg onto the chair. Good work. Now let's come into the other side. So Ardha Padangusthasana, or half wind relieving on the left side, bringing the left thigh in. If it's available to hold around the shin, you can do that. If it feels better to do around the thigh, that's okay. Notice the tension that might be sitting in the belly. Can you soften the belly? Soften the shoulders. Let gravity start to do some of the work for you here. Feeling the belly receive the leg. So especially if you're on the floor. Now if you're seated, a little bit more effort through the arms, helping to squeeze the leg in. Again, you might point and flex the left foot. Roll the left ankle. Roll it the other way. Flexing that left foot back now. Take your hands behind the left thigh. So whether you're seated or lying on the ground, you're holding behind the left thigh and begin that slow straightening out of the left leg. So trying not to force your legs straight here. Just feel the subtle sensation of lengthening. Be able to stay at ease as you breathe. And then gently release your hands from the leg and slowly, slowly lower the leg down. Good. If you're sitting in the chair, go ahead now to fold forward. You might rest elbows on the thighs or wrap around the legs. Or if you're lying on the ground, you're going to bring your knees into your belly. Give them both a squeeze in. Excuse me. If you're lying on the floor, you can then roll yourself off to one side and come to lay down onto the ground in a way that gives you lots of space. So your legs aren't hindered by the chair or other furniture. If you are sitting in the chair, you're going to come forward on the chair a little bit here, giving yourself some room. And you're going to walk yourself all the way over to the right-hand side of your chair. Make sure both feet can be flat on the floor. Dig both hands around behind you and come into a twist. If you're lying on the floor, you're going to bring your right knee into your chest. Take your left hand across to the right thigh and slowly draw your right leg across your body into the twist. You can allow the right leg to lift off the ground. Sorry, the right hip to lift off the ground if you're lying on the floor. And only if that feels okay for the back. On your inhale breath, slowly unwind, bringing yourself into the other side. So if you're sitting in the chair, you're going to walk over to your left side, coming to your twist here. If you're lying on the floor, the left knee comes in, the right leg goes straight. The right hand comes across to the left leg, and the left leg comes over the body to the right. Good. Lots of right and lefts there. Good. And breathing where you are. Good. Then slowly inhale to unwind, coming around to center, gliding yourself back into your chair if you're seated. If you're on the floor and it's okay for your low back, you can extend your legs out on the ground. And then if you're lying on the floor, let the arms open wide, turn the palms up to the ceiling. If you're in the chair, your palms can still face up, but let the back of the hands now rest on your thighs. Softly letting the eyelids now close over the eyes. Feel it release through your shoulders, through the muscles of the back and the hips, through the legs. Letting the whole body come into a really soft state. Let go of the tongue effort against the roof of the mouth. Ease the tongue down and away from the roof of the mouth. Keep the upper and lower lips very gently touching, encouraging your breath through your nose. As we settle now into Savasana, this deep and final resting posture. This is a moment of practicing letting go. Letting go of everything you've just done, everything you've just accomplished. Letting that all go. Letting it become what it will. As you now come into this moment of rest, knowing that you've put in the effort, you've done the work. Now we take an opportunity to be still and quiet, to let all of that effort and work integrate into our body, mind, and heart. And to do so in a way that is peaceful, creates a sense of calm, ease, staying aware of the breath and aware of the body. Maybe now you start to notice the mind, notice the thoughts. Do so in a way where you also continue to notice the breath and continue to notice the body. All parts together as one. As you start to hear my voice again, let that reawaken you to your breath and the subtle sensation of air coming in and out of your body. Allowing the breath to reawaken you to the body as it lies on the ground or is sitting in the chair. And without moving your body in any way, just notice how you're positioned. So before you move, you wake up to how you are. Before we take action, we become aware first, aware of how we are, where we are. You might slowly start to wiggle fingers and wiggle toes. You might bring a bit of movement in here. Do so in a way that is conscious and kind. If you're lying on the floor, you can slowly bend your knees and gently roll off to one side. If you're in the chair, take your time, start to ease yourself forward on the chair so that you can sit straight up with your back lifted away from the back of the chair. When you're ready on the floor, you can then make your way up to seated. You might sit on the ground or you might come all the way up to a chair, whatever feels best for you. Once you're in your seat, bring your hands into Anjali Mudra, palms touching in front of the heart. Once again, eyes are closed. Just settle in for again another moment to recognize this space within you that is peaceful and calm. That you have the capacity both to be active, to do, but also to be present, to be. So thank you all so much for continuing to come and to practice yoga. Namaste.